So far I've only looked at 3 Fujimoto's work, and I love all of them. Whether it be one, the obvious one, which would be Chainsaw Man, and how Chainsaw Man is just great. I love it, whether it be the fights or whether it be just Denji being happy or trying to find happiness in this world that is Chainsaw Man, or just listen to my song, which is the next manga that I like a lot, regardless if it's you losing meaning in the song, but as long as that one person finds the meaning in it, then it's all worth it. And lastly, Look Back that's recently got on Amazon, and it's fucking phenomenal. I love it a lot. There are so many things to digest in there, whether it be childhood decisions that you may make or even just be able to move forward. And as always, it feels like that classic Fujimoto style of you getting something bittersweet by the time you get to the end of it, and you being happy that you did enjoy it or go through this journey that he gave you. But before I get into any of the reasons why I really do love this, let me at least get into the story. So for the story of Look Back, we first start off with a kid in middle school named Fujino, and she basically just makes comics for the newspaper strip that is for her little elementary school, and she comes to find out everyone loves it. Everyone loves her news strips, and she basically gets a whole bunch of praise for it, whether it be anyone that's around her surrounding circle or just anyone that's on the outside looking in saying, oh, you could be a great manga artist, you could do the best you can do. It really gets her head inflated, and she gets asked a question by a teacher saying, hey, can you give this week's comic strip to another student by the name of Fujimoto, who doesn't really come to school, but she really does love making comic strips as well, or making manga, so she wanted to be in the newspaper. And she's like, you know what, okay, it's fine, I'll let the kid have it this week. And it's come to find out everyone loves her paper as well, but they love it seemingly more than her. It actually gets her frustrated. It makes her want to practice and continue practicing and not think about anything for the next 2 years just to be better than her rival that she's never met a day in her life and doesn't even really know who this person is. But in the midst of these 2 years, as she's trying to get better and practice, she doesn't think about anything, whether it be school, whether it be any extracurricular activities, whether it be family, and she gets called out on it. She's like, hey, stop doing this stupid manga stuff. You should actually just hang out with us, with your friends, or hang out with your family, or do anything else to have more stuff on your paper or transcript to make you look better. And the same thing that she was getting praised for before, she's getting ridiculed and demonized over. Then after maybe a few days or a few weeks, she looks at the next paper strip and she just looks at it and she says, you know what? I quit. And she just continues on her life the next year of just being with her friends, her family, and just basically giving up on manga until the end of the year, where that same teacher again asks for a favor, but this time he's asking to give the diploma to the student herself, which is Fujimoto. So she basically goes to Fujimoto's house, and as she's about to enter, she realizes the door is open and she just walks in. She sees on the left side of her that it's a whole bunch of scrapbooks on the floor. She picks up one of the scrap pieces of paper, makes a whole comic strip, because why not? Old habits die hard, I guess. And that little comic strip falls strictly into the room on accident, and Fujin starts to run away out of the house, and Fujimoto actually catches up to her saying, hey, I'm a huge fan of you, which starts a relationship of both of them wanting to create manga together. But with the story out of the way, I want to talk about the main character herself, Fujin. Now, Fujin seems to be like a character that doesn't look back or look at the surrounding area. She only looks forward. She only goes forward for most of the movie. I would probably say a very dominant attitude when it comes to the way she looks at life or the way she's moving when it comes to life. But weirdly enough, in the same breath, it can also be looked at as in her mindset being easily influenced by a lot of people. I'll go with the second option first, right? For the second option of being influenced by a lot of people, I mean by like her giving up on manga when everyone else is telling her to give up, or her when she got really hyped up when everyone's giving her compliments at first. They're like gassing her up saying, hey, you can do this, or you really can do anything, and to be honest, and it sort of blows her head up a lot. Then there's the other situation where she meets Fujimoto and she wants to actually make manga again, start drawing again, continuing her passion and her dream that she's had since middle school or elementary school. Lastly, the influence that she gives on herself. Spoilers, by the way, spoilers. Go ahead and watch it and come back, but spoilers. The last big influence, which would be herself when it comes to the dark machinations of your mind, when she comes to find out that her friend died. When she found out that her friend Fujimoto died in art school when someone had a pickaxe and murdered her. And all she can really think about is, what if I actually didn't meet this person? What if I didn't meet this person and I didn't actually have to influence her life? What if I just left her alone and she was fine? It's that huge what if button a lot of people do get when it comes to death and grieving. You don't really know what to do or how to interpret it. So you interpret it in multiple different ways, whether that be looking back at a situation and thinking what I could have done. But pausing on that and going back to the first option where I said she's going forward, and she goes forward a lot, and she doesn't really think about her surroundings or even the back of herself or looking back. She does this her whole life, whether it be her doing manga and really just doing everything when it comes to the school paper, or her trying to become better, try to become better and dominant than the other person that is her rival, or even then where they came to saying like, oh, okay, I can't really do this, so I guess I'll just do something else and keep moving forward. It's not like anyone else is supporting me anyway, why should I even dwell on this? And when she gets the opportunity to do manga again, she's like, you know what, let's go forward with this decision making and let's continue to do manga together. And she's looking forward so much that she doesn't see the oncoming truck that is her friend wanting to do something else with her life when it comes to them making a manga for the first time, an official manga that's going to get released to the public and is actually going to be worth something. When Kyomoto tells Fujin, hey, I want to go to art school and I don't really want to do this manga stuff, I actually want to get better at my specific art, Fujin is just completely flabbergasted but also pissed off and starts to be really nasty to her when it comes to this subject. She's like, hey, you can't even do anything by yourself, you can't do this is really stupid, you can't really do anything with your art degree, you can't really do anything without me specifically, why don't you move forward with me?
A little too close.
Then having their interaction be ended by her saying, I just want to be a better artist, and Fujin just sort of looking at her in shock of like almost what she did and what she told her, and they just cut where there seemingly is a rift in time where she goes to art school and she actually becomes a manga artist, a really successful one at that. Fujin seemingly only looked at herself, she only looked forward for herself, she never looked back or looked at any other surroundings or what anyone else wanted but her. She only thought that it mattered for her. She never thought of the idea of saying, hey, what do you want to do? Are you sure you want to continue on with doing this? Is there any other options that you would like to have? She never really sat there and smelled the roses, which leads her to the visceral reaction she gave her. But moving forward again in the story, because I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of what I think Look Back really is as a whole. But Fujin starts to do the manga and becomes extremely really successful and does not look like Chainsaw Man at all but a shark. We're not going to talk about that whatsoever. But she gets extremely successful in her manga, and as she's making the manga, she looks at the writer of her, she starts to hear things about a tragedy that's happening at an art school specifically. So she tries to call her friend Kyomoto and she doesn't pick up. So as we all know, she got murdered. And this defeats her completely. She even goes back to her old childhood house, which is Kyomoto's childhood house, and she cries and thinks about what would happen if I didn't meet her, if I wasn't there with her or for her, just the life that she would have lived if she didn't meet her. She just would have been alive. Looking back at the past situation, but then she thinks to herself after she finds one of the manga strips that she has in Kyomoto's room, she sees that, hey, she made a funny comic strip here, and she just thinks about all the good things that happened with her and Kyomoto. In the end, Fujin just putting up the comic strip that was in her room and her just going back to writing her manga. Now, what I think Look Back really is for you to look back at all the positive that you've done with someone or for someone, even when you, especially when you lose that person. When you lose that person, it becomes 100 times more harder to look back of all the positive things that's ever happened with that person. It's so easy to think of the negative or what I could have done or what I should have done, or even making a whole imaginary scenario of what could have happened. Even with the wording specifically being look back, not linger back, not stay there, not think about what you could have done, just look back at all the positives you've done, and then you look forward when it comes to you doing better or continuing on, because that's what that person would want for you. You only look back for a second and you enjoy that time you had, you enjoy what you were in that moment, and you continue on moving forward. And all the stuff that you're doing now, you know for a fact you're doing for a reason, and if you ever need a reminder, all you have to do is look back. Yeah, that's kind of actually all I wanted to say when it comes to the terms of Look Back. I really did enjoy Look Back. I do probably want to watch it again, maybe watch it again with a friend to see what they think of it and sort of just pick each other's brains or the cases. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. Oh yeah, wait, I wanted to add this in super last minute. Now I don't have to add this in, but I really want to. I love the references. I love either the Chainsaw Man reference or the Goku, it's me Goku reference, Goku that was there, or the other references like One Piece that was there as well, which I did see. I made me almost look every 2 seconds to see like, oh, like what's there, and have me just on the lookout for any other reference that I might see. But that's all I really wanted to add. Alright, goodbye for real this time.